You know that buy now button? Have you ever stopped to think about how it got so powerful, how it basically reshaped the entire global economy? Well, to really get it, we have to go all the way back to 1994. Picture a garage in Seattle where this guy, a former Wall Street VP named Jeff Bezos, had this wild idea that the internet was going to change absolutely everything. And from that one garage, an empire was born.
So get this, it wasn't even supposed to be called Amazon at first. Bezos' first pick was Cadabra, like abracadabra. But his lawyer heard him wrong and thought he said cadaver, as in a corpse. Yikes. So he dropped that name, obviously, and eventually landed on Amazon, named after the world's biggest river. But here's the kicker. At the same time, he registered another domain, relentless.com. Go ahead, type it into your browser right now. It'll take you straight to Amazon. That wasn't some accident. That was a mission statement from day one.
So here's how we're going to break down this empire. We'll start with that kind of creepy cadaver prophecy. Then we'll get into the bleed to conquer strategy that fueled its insane growth. We'll pull back the curtain on the invisible empire it's building all around us, look at the dark side of that friendly smile, and finally, we'll ask the big question. Is an Amazon-dominated future just unavoidable?
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. That whole mix-up between cadabra and cadaver, turns out that was weirdly prophetic, right? Because 30 years later, Amazon has become the very thing that lawyer misheard. A graveyard for so many traditional retail stores all over the world. Amazon went public back in 1997, but for the first 7 years, it made zero profit. Zilch. Wall Street just didn't get it. Analysts started calling it Amazon bomb, convinced it was all going to crash and burn. But here's the thing. Bezos wasn't losing money. He was spending every single penny to build this massive, untouchable fortress of warehouses and delivery systems. He was buying the future. And this brings us to the absolute core of their strategy. Seriously, if you want to understand Amazon, you have to understand how it turned losing money into a weapon to achieve total domination. It's really a masterclass in playing the long game. Which leads to the million-dollar question, right? If the company is technically unprofitable for years, how on earth does it afford to build all these warehouses, buy fleets of planes, and build a global infrastructure? I mean, where was all that cash coming from? Well, the answer has 3 letters, AWS, Amazon Web Services. This is Amazon's secret weapon, the engine hiding in plain sight. While we were all busy shopping for books and gadgets, Amazon was quietly building the invisible backbone of the modern internet, a cloud platform that now powers huge chunks of the web, from Netflix to NASA. And this chart just lays it all out perfectly. The retail side of Amazon, the boxes that show up at our door, operates on these razor-thin profit margins. We're talking like 1 to 3%. But then you look at AWS, it's a cash printing machine with a massive 30% profit margin. And this is the critical move, a strategy called cross-subsidization. Basically, Amazon takes the billions in profit it makes from AWS and uses it to fuel everything else. It pays for the super low prices, the ridiculously cheap and fast shipping, the whole shebang. It's a classic predator move. They can afford to bleed money on retail to crush the competition because they have a money printer in the cloud that nobody else has. All right, so with that kind of financial firepower, what's the next phase? Well, Amazon started expanding way, way beyond just online shopping. The goal was no longer just to own your wallet. It was to own your entire day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. I mean, just look at their shopping list. They bought Whole Foods, not because they love organic kale, but to get a direct pipeline into the data and habits of wealthy shoppers. They bought MGM Studios, the home of James Bond, to make sure you never, ever want to cancel your Prime membership. And they own Twitch to capture what might be the most valuable resource of all, the attention of the next generation. Every single purchase is a calculated move to expand the empire. And now, the game is changing again. The next great frontier is artificial intelligence. Amazon isn't just satisfied with selling you stuff anymore. It wants to build a brain that knows what you want before you do. How serious are they? $8 billion. That's how much they're pouring into the AI company Anthropic. And this isn't just about giving you slightly better product recommendations. The end game is to create an all-knowing system that moves from suggesting what you might like to preemptively fulfilling needs you don't even know you have yet. That is the ultimate lock. But all this incredible convenience, this relentless efficiency, it comes at a price. And it's really important that we look at the other side of the coin here, the dark side hiding behind that famous smile on the brown box. I'm sure we've all heard the stories. The reports about warehouse workers under such intense pressure from algorithmically set quotas that they felt they couldn't even take a bathroom break. It really shines a light on the human cost of making one-day shipping possible, where people's performance is managed by cold, unforgiving lines of code.
And then there's the whole copycat controversy. Here's the alleged playbook. A small third-party seller works hard, takes a risk, and creates a really successful product. Then Amazon sees that success in its internal sales data, creates its own nearly identical Amazon Basics version, and sells it for just a little bit less, enough to drive the original creator out of business.
But the pushback is getting real. In 2024, Amazon's big plan to buy iRobot, the company that makes the Roomba vacuum, completely fell apart. Why? Because regulators all over the world were terrified. The fear wasn't about vacuums. It was about Amazon owning the literal digital floor plan of the inside of your home. It was a clear sign that the world is finally starting to ask, has Amazon just gotten too big?
So that brings us to today. From a garage selling books to a digital nation state, Amazon's story is, without a doubt, one of the defining business sagas of our time.
I mean, the company is on a path towards $700 billion in revenue. To put that in perspective, that's bigger than the entire GDP of many countries. This isn't just a company anymore. It's a fundamental piece of the infrastructure of the 21st century. And as we've seen, its incredible power really rests on three pillars. Data is the new oil, giving it this unbelievable insight into all of us. Logistics is its ultimate weapon, building a physical barrier that's almost impossible for competitors to overcome. And AI, well, that's the all-knowing brain it's building to secure its dominance for decades to come. So the final question is this: what is the destiny of this relentless empire? Will it be the river that Bezos named it for, a powerful force that feeds the whole world with innovation and convenience? Or will it become a flood that drowns all competition, leaving us with fewer choices in a world run by a single, smiling logo? It's something to think about the next time you click Buy Now.